Hey guys, Comic Boom here to review Wonder Woman issue 57, chapter 4 of the Witching Hour. Guys, this story continues to tread along at a relatively good pace. James Tinney and the Fourth, the writers, doing a pretty good job. This is very entertaining. I haven't been enjoying Wonder Woman this much in a very long time, and it's great to see Wonder Woman have her life tripped up a little bit by some forces that are finally beyond her control, and that is the darker forces of magic. Wonder Woman has contained within her 1/5 of the power of Hecate, this dark sorceress, and she basically wakes up this issue seemingly on the moon, surrounded by a bunch of, looks like, corpses, and also by someone who's already been killed, and that is Witchfire. And Witchfire is apparently one of the other witches, or one of the other sorcerers that contain the power of Hecate, that she was in the Oblivion Bar, I think, or maybe not the Oblivion Bar, but she was, I was wondering who the 5 women were that each had a 1/5 of the power of Hecate, because we knew there were Wonder Woman, Black Orchid, Manitou Dawn, and now one of them we know is Witchfire. I'm not sure who the 5th one is anymore. I don't know. I wish, it's just, sometimes I kind of wish that in some of these things they would have a little bit of an one page of explanation as to, sort of a nice little breakdown as to what it is, where all the power is. It would have been kind of nice here. Not that it's absolutely necessary, but, because it is anyways, I thought maybe it'd be a little bit helpful. But in any event, guys, I'm enjoying this. For some reason, this seems a little bit slower paced, but it was okay. It was okay. In terms highlights of this issue, John Constantine performs an exorcism on Hecate. He's got I thought John Constantine was a little bit out of character in here. He seemed to have somewhat of an inferiority complex. He was all depressed, and he was sort of he was sort of like accepting the fact that the world and the universe is going to die because of Hecate and the dark forces of magic, and he seemed surprisingly depressed, almost pathetic. And it took Zatanna, had to give him a bitch slap to snap him out of his lethargy and say, "Hey, get your act together. You're John Constantine. Where's this cocky British guy, who can talk demons into doing whatever the hell he wants, or use your power, think." And it finally occurs to him that with all this magic around, even his simple spells, particularly his simple binding spells, are much more powerful when you're literally surrounded by magic, in particular when you're surrounded by darker magic. And he uses that to basically bind the physical essence of Wonder Woman, who, of course, has 1/5 the power of Hecate in her. Meanwhile, the consciousness of Wonder Woman is in another realm, in this moon-like realm, talking to someone who's previously deceased, Wildfire, and Wildfire explains to her that basically Hecate is basically keeping Wonder Woman, keeping the free will, the consciousness, the sort of the good side, the free will of Wonder Woman, Manitou Dawn, and Black Orchid separate from their physical bodies, while Hecate uses them for her purposes, in particular destroying Nanda Parbat. Now, while the physical essence of Wonder Woman is possessed and destroying Nanda Parbat, along with Black Orchid there and Manitou Dawn there, destroying Nanda Parbat, and Black Orchid destroying the Parliament of Trees and battling the Swamp Thing, Manitou Dawn was trying to destroy Ramakrishna. And Ramakrishna is the god of life and death that was sort of guarding Nanda Parbat, this very holy place. And Bibbo, the detective chimp, with his sword, now that he's the new night, the new night master, they escape into the Oblivion Bar. Now, the Oblivion Bar has been destroyed previously by Hecate, but that's the only place that they could escape to. So they escape to the Oblivion Bar. Meanwhile, Ramakrishna has hid her consciousness has basically transferred her consciousness into a number of corpses of different monks who follow Bibbo and Manbat into the Oblivion Bar. But they're followed by Manitou Dawn, who's possessed by Hecate, and a battle ensues. And fortunately, Tracy 13 shows up, and she's a member of the Sisterhood of the Sleight Hand, and of course, the Sisterhood of the Sleight Hand, most of them were massacred and killed by Hecate when she destroyed the Oblivion Bar in, I think it was part 2 of this Witching Hour series. But a battle is ensuing between Tracy 13 and the possessed Manitou Dawn. And meanwhile, Wonder Woman, the possessed Wonder Woman, is destroying Nanda Parbat. And meanwhile, Black Orchid is destroying the Parliament of Trees. So things aren't going well for the good guys here. And Swamp Thing is being unsuccessful in preventing the destruction of the Parliament of Trees, which is destroying the green. And once the green is destroyed, it will go and eventually destroy the red, which is basically all animal life. So the destruction of all plant life, followed by the destruction of all animal life. Things are not going too well. Fortunately, John Constantine performs an exorcism on the possessed Wonder Woman. And basically, once that happens, it frees the minds. It frees the minds of Black Orchid and Manitou Dawn, and they get their free will back. Unfortunately for Wonder Woman, she still is sort of trapped in that dream realm. Her consciousness is still in the dream realm, and Wildfire is very concerned that it might be that Wonder Woman may have in fact died, because they were all possessed of 1/5 of the power of Hecate, but now Wonder Woman's got 3/5 of all Hecate's power. And can Wonder Woman's body, is it going to burn out? Can it withstand that onslaught of all that dark magic? It's hard to say. And so things aren't looking too good for Wonder Woman. That's how this issue ends. So a lot happens here. Why does Hecate want to destroy magic on Earth and replace it with something different? Why? That's like destroying a bunch of, I don't know, apple trees so you can grow oranges? Like, why? Like, who cares if you got to rewrite magic in your name? Why? If you're the most powerful, if you got all the magic, who cares what color the magic is? Or what flavor of magic? Don't really get that. I know I'm kind of nitpicking there, but so I'm criticizing the plot a little bit. I mean, again, I like it. It's fun. I just wish, I thought this could have been a lot more, this could have had so much more substance if the Upside Down Man was part of this. And the idea of the enemy of my enemy is my friend, where Hecate has her motives, but Hecate is apparently that stupid. She's going to destroy all magic, and then the Upside Down Man is only going to have to defeat Hecate. Well, how hard is that going to be? Hecate, Hecate is going to be busy trying to rewrite magic, but the darker forces of magic embodied by the Upside Down Man are still at play. So what's the point of that? Plus, where is Circe? Like Wonder Woman's enemies, Circe. She should be part of this. She's got to have an ulterior motive as well. I hope she ends up in the next issue. If she doesn't, I'd be surprised. Now, I almost wish this was a longer series. This has so much more potential. I have a feeling this is going to end very abruptly, and that's really disappointing because this has so much more potential to have been a really epic arc. And I think it's just going to end. It's going to end with more questions and answers, and that's a real big disappointment. Unfortunately, it's still okay. It's sort of a lost opportunity. I hope DC gets one thing out of this series, and that is, I think the success. I hope that they appreciate that. People want more of Justice League Dark and Wonder Woman, and they want more of these types of stories for these characters because they work well, and especially under James Tynion, he does a good job scripting it. If James Tynion had 5 or 6 more issues on this, he could really tell probably a more substance-filled tale. He's done a pretty good job here, considering he's only got 5 or 6 issues to tell his tale, and I really hope he carries on with it. But guys, let me know what you think of Wonder Woman issue 57. Thanks for watching. Hit me up on Twitter at Metropolis40. And until next time, Comic Boom, out.